All right.
Okay. You will probably have to keep your mic unmuted for the entire time. Now just minimize this Zoom screen
Okay.
and click on the Teams link and the email and open up Teams in your browser. Let me know when you have that open.
Okay. I am. And the Teams link is the first one in this, right?
Yes, it says click here to join the meeting.
Got it. I should be coming in momentarily.
Okay. So it's loading up.
Yes, I'm in Teams right now.
Okay, perfect. So maximize your Zoom app real quick and then click share screen. And the screen that you want to share is the Microsoft Teams screen that should be loading up. Hey Raquel, can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Queen. How are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. So the meeting is actually not on this link. It's on the other one that I emailed you this morning. We had a quick huddle, but everybody jumped off already. So we're all transitioning to the Microsoft Teams link. And if you're talking, sis, you're muted. Raquel, did you hear me about the meeting being on the other link?
Yes, you sent me the other link.
Yes, I emailed it to you.
Okay.
And let me send it to you one more time so I can make sure you could access it.
Okay.
Miss R. Smith.
I'm just listening.
Okay. Okay, I just sent it again and it'll say click here to join meeting. You just click that and that's where everybody else is.
Okay, thanks. Love.
Okay, no problem, dear. See you in a minute.
Mhm.
Pastor P, are you able to share your screen?
Yes, hold on a second.
Okay, no worries.
All right. So I'm sharing the team screen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. So after you join the Teams meeting, and just try to make sure that your view is full screen on the Teams thing, and Zoom should take it from here.
All right. Good enough.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna hop off and get set up on the other side.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Bye-bye.
people. So, and now at the Department of Corrections, I have a real opportunity to dive even further into this reentry space, right? Each year, more than 12,000 Virginians are released from incarceration.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, many of those Virginians eventually return to prison. While Virginia's recidivism rate is the second lowest in the nation, that still means at least 1 in 5 formerly incarcerated individuals historically didn't have a successful reentry. So we want to lower that even more. I know Virginia Cares is passionate in your work to provide, education, support services to these individuals, job training, and these are all things that reduce recidivism, which is something that the DOC has historically talked about a lot, recidivism, for a good reason. And you'll hear me probably in the coming days, weeks, and months say the words public safety often. That is the primary goal of our agency. And I don't want our employees to lose focus on that. But you're also going to hear my message be that successful reentry is the key for long-lasting public safety. It is the key. So when I say public safety, I'm not talking about locking people up. Sometimes that's public safety, it's temporary public safety.
Right.
But if we want real long-lasting public safety, we got to get it right on the reentry end. So I'm going to tell you all just very briefly. I don't want to take up too much of your time either, but I want to tell you a little bit about what the administration here, what we're getting ready to launch. It's what I'm calling a laser-focused reentry initiative. I'm really excited about it. This governor has made it clear that reentry needs to be among the highest of our priorities. And I'll talk just a little bit about what our plan looks like, but the broad strokes of the plan are going to be familiar to all of you because you guys have been doing it for decades. You've been in this business for a long, long time. Data-driven results. I'll use the words that you all have used: training, referrals, and services that teach participants how to make better life choices, strengthen and rebuild relationships, obtain and keep a job, and understand that others can relate to their challenges. That's it. That is it. Okay. So while the big number, recidivism, reducing that, it's a positive thing. We want to continue to lower that number as much as possible. We're trying to bring extra focus in this effort to improve reentry success. And we define reentry success as the positive achievement of certain success factors, not just by that recidivism number. Okay. We're drilling down into it. And you all know what these things are: gainful full-time employment, stable housing, healthcare insurance, get them signed up for services. Adequate supervision is going to be a part of it from our angle. Mental health treatment, if needed. Substance abuse treatment, if needed, right? So in order to improve prisoner reentry success, Governor Youngkin commissioned this cross-agency team led by his transformation office. And we've been working together. I've been working on this team as the parole board chair for months without realizing that I would soon be sort of over in charge of it as the Department of Corrections director. And so we've put together what we're calling an internal dashboard, but we're tracking achievement on each of those success factors for every single person that comes out. Okay. And if someone is not successful on gaining full-time employment, we can drill down into that and say, what do we need to do to help this individual person to gain full-time employment? Or how do we help them with housing? We're not just tracking overall recidivism metric. We're trying to track the data all the way down to the local levels. So, and the focus is going to be to improve the rate of success for supervisees on all those dimensions. And as part of that, we got to identify and implement initiatives that work towards improvement and success. So as we seek to identify ways to improve that rate of success using data, it's not just data. What gets measured gets managed, I say. But when we see that data, we got to figure out what do we do to help this person down here. But that person down there is not a number. Okay, it's a person. It's a real life. It's a real person that has a chance of success that we want to see succeed. And to improve the rate of success for those men and women, we're going to need your help. I want DOC to be a great partner for you. I want to have a good relationship with Virginia Cares, because you're doing the things that need to be done. And you've been doing it for a long time, long before I got into this game. And my personal philosophy is that every single Virginian who reenters successfully generates great benefits to society. I mean, they generate great benefits to themselves in terms of their well-being, their ability to contribute to society, to achieve their potential, to connect with their families and their communities. But it generates a benefit to the community as a whole. Families being made whole, crime decreasing. It's a and obviously generates great benefits to the Commonwealth, decreasing burdens on our infrastructure, law enforcement costs, things like that. So these are some broad strokes of what I hope to achieve here, and we're going to be rolling this out publicly soon. I'm giving you sort of a preview of what we're going to be announcing soon. But I want to thank you so much for giving me some of your time today, for asking me to be here. I can't wait to work closely with you as we try to make Virginia the best place to live, work, and raise a family for all of our citizens, not just some. So thank you again, and please don't hesitate to let me know what we can do to be better partners with you. Thank you.
All right. And thank you. We appreciate it so much. I got my supervisor, Ann Fisher, is on. Ann, you want to say something to Mr. Doctor before you get out of here?
Director, I just want to thank you very much. I know this was last minute for you. Thank you for agreeing to be the special guest at our banquet this Friday. We look forward to meeting you in person. And I'm very enthused by what you're telling us that the DOC is moving in the direction of. It's where our focus has been, is the long-term success, not the immediate recidivism. So yes, thank you so much again for your time and for your words.
Well, thank you so much, and I hope I get to meet a lot of you on Friday. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So next, let me see, where am I? Y'all got to bear with me with these new meetings. So do I have Mr. Brown? Is Mr. Brown on?
I believe I saw that he was. Let me.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, everyone. Yes.
Yes, there he is.
Well, I can't see him.
Okay, Anthony, look at the bottom of your screen and you'll see a 1/3 with a little arrow. And if you scroll that arrow over, you'll see a next set of windows that gives you pictures, and then another set of windows. So eventually you can see everybody. You just can't get them all on one screen.
Gotcha. There he is. How you doing, Mr. Brown?
I'm great. I'm so honored to be here, and my partners and colleagues are so happy to be here. They're on board. They're on as well.
Yeah, Marsha spoke very highly of you, my man.
Oh, well, no pressure.
Yeah. So Mr. Brown, you can go ahead and take off and start your presentation.
Oh, great. Well, first of all, just good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Just on a human basis, I'm a human connector guy. Like, I do this work, done it for years, but we all human as well. We all got stuff going on. Certainly, the background on the screen is blurry, but sometimes the background in my day is blurry. And so, we charge into these things sometimes, and I don't live like that. Been doing this a long time. This team is highly skilled and very passionate, as you're going to find out over the next few moments. But it is important to me to just know how everyone's doing. So can I get a response from anybody, even in the back pew, as to how anybody's doing? Just click on and say, I'm doing fine, or I'm not, or I hope you hurry up, or shut up, anything.
I'm doing just great.
I'm doing great.
Fantastic.
Glad to hear.
Doing good. I love the colors of the presentation.
Oh, yeah, now this is a family meeting. Here we go.
Right.
Here we go. So again, my name is Tom Brown, and I have I've been blessed to be with a group of leaders who you're going to hear from throughout the rest of the morning. And I am the founder and current executive director of Training Grounds, which we've been in existence for almost 20 years. In fact, on Dr. King's next birth date that's also our anniversary. And that was intentional because as I was growing up as a young man, there were two individuals that I really admired their work. On a global front, it was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And then growing up in DC on a local front, it was Marion Barry. Now, I know there's other images that people have of Marion Barry, but as a beneficiary of his leadership and his commitment to the community, I developed some values that put me in this great space that we're sharing today. So I'm just grateful to that. And you go to the next slide. So Training Grounds, you're going to hear from our great partner, Japriya. She's going to speak shortly in the introduction, but I just wanted and share about her organization, which we represent a whole collaborative team in just a moment. But I wanted to just share, the capabilities of Training Grounds is the ability to customize and bring valuable solutions into any community on the planet by way of the model that we have been able to develop over the past almost 20 years. Everything from youth development, youth leadership development, and you're going to hear about a lot of this moving forward today, as well as a lot of work that we have done. Now, one of the things you should know is from its inception, Training Grounds has always had staffing and leadership roles that were made up of reentry since the very beginning. And that was sort of a case study, informal case study by me, and that was put on my heart to show that reentry and what we call returning citizens had a lot of value if they were given the right platform, the right opportunity. So for almost the 20 years we've been in existence, just about half of our staff are reentry or returning citizens, even to date. So we're very proud of that fact that we've been able to prove for almost 20 years that you can build something super valuable and super impactful. Community transformation model, you're going to hear about it. You're going to hear the term community of peace, P-E-A-C-E, peace. And we're able to build a community transformation model that the objective is to bring certain balances and nuances into our homes, our families, and our communities, which we refer to as communities of peace. And the different programs and methodologies, service delivery strategies, that's a lot based on what the need is. Much like one of the most valuable tools that we try to take, thus the survey that went out to you all, is to be a great listener. When you go to a doctor, you don't want the doctor to just start telling you what they're going to address if they have never given you a chance to tell you what might be ailing you. So one of the great things is assessment and listening to be able to have the ability to customize solutions that work for you, not the last community. So on here represents many different areas of Virginia and many different communities. So we wouldn't dare come in with a cookie cutter to say, hey, because this works at this site, we want to tell you this work, you might not need it at that site. So we just are part of the effectiveness is the way we built the customization, and that's through great listening. Can you all hear me? Is everything fine on the audio side? Great. And I don't mind some amens along the way. It's all good. It's all good.
Amen.
All right. Next slide. E3, you're going to hear about, is one of our partners. We're so glad. Here's where it gets gooder and gooder, right here. This is the crew made up of multiple individuals and a couple of different entities that we have formed this collaborative team that is able to spell out, lay out, and implement a lot of the things you're going to hear about today. And you'll see, I'm going to make mention of some of the training grounds staff and team that's here, I'm going to ask Jerry Tyler and Japria Tyler if they would share. We're so excited. I have a lot of love for them, a lot of love for everybody on this screen. And we're just going to do a quick introduction, if you will. So Lori Brown is the Associate Director, Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Pierre Lucy, Program Director, Quincy Pratt, and Outreach is Frank Muhammad. So that's a small part of a team that packs a great punch as we've been working to expand this love. We call it love, this love and this program model globally. And there you see the picture of the old man at the top, Tom Brown, Founder, Executive Director. I want to ask Jerry if he would share, because he's in this relationship, specifically with Virginia Cares, but not limited to Virginia Cares. He's become sort of a co-visionary in this. And I would ask Jerry if he would just spend a minute to introduce himself, and then I would ask him to bring Japria on and anyone else on for a quick introduction as we get into the rest of the presentation. So Jerry, if you are ready, have you introduce yourself.
Good morning to each and everyone. It's truly a blessing to be here this morning. My name is Jerry Tyler. As you know, I've spent 32 and a half years being incarcerated. Next month will be October the 5th will be my first year out in society, being acclimated to, the things that God once again allowed me to do. This is my desire. I am a servant. I know how to serve. I'm humble enough to serve. God has given me a vision to bring about a team or a collaboration with my niece, who you will be hearing from soon, Japria. I have mentioned this vision to my cousin Tom, as well as my little sister Sharia, and my partner Dave, and my other cousin Laura. So we sat down and we just pretty much brainstormed and came up with an understanding that, well, what can we do to help? There's many programs out there, but God has given me the vision of these two programs. Ready, set, ready, recess, and training ground. I truly believe that once you have the mindset to formulate and speak to those that have an ear to listen, that we can reach out, back out to society, and we can help. That's basically what these two unique programs are. We are there to help, and we need your help, and we pray that, what we are displaying this morning to you guys, that you would take the initiative and have an open mind and say, well, you know what? I see a difference, because that's what we are trying to do. We're trying to make a difference. We're not just trying to speak it out of our mouth. We're trying to show you that we can make a difference. So with that, it's a pleasure just to be on a part of the team, and it's more members on the team. So I want to extend that gratitude to them as well. And I just thank God just for being here, and you guys just having a empathetical ear just to listen to what we have to offer. And with that, I'll turn it over to my niece, Japria, and I just thank you guys.
Good morning, everyone. I want to also thank you guys for the opportunity, just allowing us to share what we have. My name is Japria. I am a former educator of DC Public Schools. E3 is a youth program that I've come up with, that I've designed for the kids we started with the youth in the District of Columbia, and now I'm planning to expand to you guys with a youth trade program to be able to assist our youth and to provide them with an experience and exposure early on. Being an educator of first grade and having mentoring programs and things of that nature, seeing the needs of the kids, there's a lot of things that they are missing. There's a lot of things that they're missing in the school system. There's a lot of things that they're missing at home. So seeing it as my mission to be able to step in and help them from seeing what they need on the inside and also seeing on the outside. So coming up with the idea to be able to provide them with an experience that they are not being offered with right now. So I'll speak a little later in terms of programming and how and how the program came about a little later, but just giving you guys a little insight on how the program became about, because I saw a need and the kids are missing a lot, and we can help them in a way that would change everything for them, providing them with those experiences to be able to elevate in life. So again, thank you guys for the opportunity and being willing to listen to what we have to offer as a program.
Thank you, Jerry and Japriya. Just so honored to be able to share this space. I'm gonna ask Dave Gregory, who's another integral part of this collaborative team, if he might introduce himself. He is someone that is a special liaison to everything that we're going to be doing. So you'll often see or hear things from him. He has a wealth of experience and wisdom. So Dave, if you wouldn't mind to take one or 2 minutes just to
Absolutely.
I'll be
Good morning. How are you? My name is David. Is everybody able to hear me? I'm assuming so. I can hear you. I am a lifelong friend of Jerry Tyler's, and he, at his bequest, I was introduced to his vision. And at the time that it came about, I realized that it's also a passion that I have had, because I am a former incarcerated individual. I've been home for 14 years myself, and during that time, I have been able to establish 2 businesses, a real estate business, a moving company as well, and be a success at the endeavors that I've chosen, some of which through mentorship, some of which through experience of just going to school and learning, some of which just the blessings that God has for me. And all of those things combined have given me, and a great support system of family and friends. So those things being available to me have made all the difference in the world. Doing conversations with Tom and Jerry and Japriya, we've come up with ideas collaboratively that we know can help the community, starting from before they're ever involved with law enforcement negatively, as youth, as you know, shortly after preschool, which Japriya specializes in, all the way up until they get into school. And then if they do happen to come into contact with law enforcement, how to handle that. If they end up being incarcerated, how to handle that, how to come out of that and be successful, and provide them with the tools that allow them to, because I've lived it, that allow them to get past it, to overcome it. Don't let it be who they are. It's just what they had to experience to get to where they are now. And that's what my passion, that's where my passion lies, because I've had the experience to go through it myself, learn from my experiences, start businesses that are successful and that can sustain myself and my family, as well as give back to the community at the same time. And that as a whole is how it gives back, because being successful without giving back, it's not going to last. To me, it's not going to last. The way that success and the community continues to build and prosper is when the people that are successful give back to the people who aren't. That it evens the playing field a lot better anyway. So that's why I've been asked to liaison and give my input of my experience and where I come from and how, and I'm still connected to the community. It's places that a lot of, just to be honest, a lot of people can't go, that I can still go and talk to people and communicate and meet them where they are, because that's another piece of the puzzle. You have to meet a lot of the community where they are. They're not going to necessarily jump to you. You have to go to them and show them and listen to them. Like Tom said, listen, be great listeners and hear what they have to say so that you know how to address their needs and their concerns. And with that, I'm going to let everybody else continue, but I'm looking forward to a great collaborative effort with everyone involved.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, David. Really appreciate you leaving and leaning in to bring your experience and wisdom and testimonial. I think one of the things that Training Grounds has prided itself on, as I mentioned earlier, having brothers and sisters who've experienced reentry as part of leadership and pillars of our particular organization. It has helped with validation in the streets, validations in the community. So it's been a great honor and a privilege to have you stitch into what it is and help us to build a greater ability to impact. And so Training Grounds, you know, I mentioned a little bit of this earlier, serves as a global model for transformation. And what we refer to, so some language you're going to hear that might be very unique in this presentation is language that we created so that it would better project the objective and the process and the experience, more importantly, that we're offering through Training Grounds for anybody that comes in contact. So for transformation and what we call, you hear the word underserved or at risk, well, we've taken that language out of Training Grounds pretty much, and it's underloved individuals and communities. Underloved. So oftentimes that's what we found in many different fashions. The communities that have suffered the most have experienced is not enough love in many fashions. We're going to get more into in detail to that. Nearly 30 years serving, and these are just some of the characteristics, the socioeconomic disadvantage, and empower, educate community stakeholders. Because it's about elevating. You know, you hear the old saying, as the tide rises, so do all the boats. So we've always taken that approach. So we're literally working on the tide and the boats rising, because the boat can't rise if they got holes in it, they're gonna sink. So we believe in that approach. Community focused, people driven, period. Our passion are the humans that look like every one of us on the screen, of different backgrounds, different ethnicities, humans, people that just are hurt and need somebody to give a darn, somebody that has some kind of solution they're willing to offer, and listen and take the time. Because often one of the things that we found is that's helped us is we've been willing and able to spend valuable time, which has allowed us to have the outcome. Because sometimes if you have a certain profile or background, like some that's been shared already as part of the team, some people won't see you as part of leadership. They're going to judge you. So one of the famous things that we say in Training Grounds, I'm going to share a nugget with you all. We say anybody that's ever come through Training Grounds, every participant that's ever been in, we say, I am not, they repeat this. Can I get you all to do this? I'm going to get you to repeat this. I am not.
I am not.
What happened to me?
What happened to me?
Say it one more time like you actually mean that about yourself. For any mistake, don't have to be incarceration. It can be something else you did 40 years ago or this morning. But it's a big principle that Training Grounds, that's one of our guiding principles. I am not, one more time.
I am not.
What happened to me?
What happened to me?
What happened to me?
So that's one of the first exposures and the centerpiece around our training, particularly in the reentry population, to forgive themselves and not let them be identified by a particular mistake that society, even their family and loved ones, may hold them to, that may cause them to not see the greatness that they still possess. So that's just a little peek in. We can go to the next slide. And you heard from our great leader, Japriya Tyler. She's going to come back and talk programs, so we can move on to the next slide. She's going to come back a little later, talk about programs. I'm just going to hit a little bit of this. Our why. So I was a teacher prior as well. I taught at Anacostia High School in Southeast DC, and I was teaching an elective of entrepreneurship. And in a school that has a lot of impoverished children from impoverished families, like the families I come from growing up, teaching them how to make money legally turned out to be an attraction. So we went from an after-school club to the most heavily populated class in the building, elective in the building. So much so that I was blessed that in 2002, through an organization, National Foundation for Teaching Entrepreneurship, I won a national teaching award. So I was considered teacher of the year in that field in 2002, before there was a training grounds at Anacostia. Now, this is unheard of at Anacostia to get this kind of recognition around anything academic. And it wasn't academic. It was just that I was teaching something that young children that were broke or that were prone, Dave, to break the law to get money were learning in my class how to legally formulate their passions, their hobbies, and their ideas to a legit business at the age of 14 and 15. So these are kind of things that led me to. So a couple of my students got murdered a year or two later, and I was so hurt by that. One was on the school grounds at Anacostia. You might have read about it back in 2004. And I was led to take this step of faith, if you will, on this organization training grounds that I had no experience, but I had a lot of passion. And I was very fortunate. So that's why is to duplicate the successes and solutions that you're going to hear about throughout the day in every human that we can help shape a structure, the kind of model and programming that's going to make the kind of inroads and impacts that you're going to hear about. And then the capabilities, you're going to hear about that all day. But if you look at the last line on our capabilities, the strategy is establishing what we refer to, and we're going to define this later, communities of PEACE, peace. That is a acronym that you're going to get real familiar with in this presentation. So when you talk about E3, talk about Dave, Jerry, Tyler, you talk about the training grounds team, communities of PEACE is the goal and objective that we believe is obtainable by any community that we can find a way to build the kind of inroads, if you will, into these things.
Are you gonna say?
Next.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to let you know that we got some money we've been looking for.
200.
I'm sorry.
177.
Did she already count that in?
No, God, no.
Hello? Oh, I think that was somebody who was unmuted. Okay, and you can see in the 19 years, these are some of our current and previous strategic partners. We work with government agencies in DC and Maryland, work with private developers that happen to have maybe communities of 2,000 and 3,000 individuals. You know, DC Housing Authority is not on here, but they're one that we've done a lot of work with them in their communities. In the basketball group, we have done combines and stuff you're going to hear about later. Right now, we are running a very powerful program in Prince George's County, Maryland. We have a cohort that this week they'll be completing with the Returning Citizens Affairs Division. We were the first award their new division in the county, in Prince George's County, Maryland. We were the first and only award given to provide workforce development because of our pedigree and background. We were blessed to receive the award. So we have brothers and sisters going through a training that they'll graduate on this coming Thursday. And they've gone through a program in the last few weeks where they've gotten food managers national certification, OSHA flagger certification, and they're going to receive OSHA in 3 weeks. And then we wrap that around with life skills and job and all kinds of things. You're going to hear about that. And just to give you all the idea of all the great partners that we currently are working with and still are building on to this day. So we're very proud that this little nonprofit that I started when I didn't even understand what a nonprofit truly was. We're almost 19 years in, and now we're thousands of individuals that we've touched, and many lives have been transformed through this model. And we're just looking to continue to learn from people like yourselves and how we can do more and be more impactful in other places. So with that, I'm going to finish up here, and then you'll hear from me a little later on, but I have one of our other leaders, Lori Brown, who's going to come on and take you through a couple of different slides. Is that okay? And we do have a break. I just need you all to know we do have a break built into our presentation. We're not going to just go all the way through. Like we mentioned, we are human, so know that we didn't have the intention to keep you all on for the whole block. But I think there's a few more slides or so, and then we'll get into a break. But I think this stuff is going to be real exciting that you'll get to hear. And thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Tom, and good morning, everyone. I'm Lori Brown, Associate Director at Training Grounds. It has been my absolute pleasure to work alongside some dynamic leaders over my tenure with the organization. And I have very much enjoyed working in the capacity to build and design programs, to institute innovative approaches to addressing community solutions, but more importantly, the impact that I have been exposed to during our time inside of communities. So what we do as an organization, our capabilities are very vast, but to condense it into one thing, we customize solutions. These solutions are focused in the areas of workforce development and youth engagement, and also in outreach. And the path that we have paved and the information that we have collected and in some cases refined, we package all of that into opportunity to educate, to empower, and to assist government agencies, businesses, other community-based organizations. We have partnerships in the faith-based sector, and we help to equip them with knowledge, tools, and strategies that we have found to be super successful in engaging underloved individuals inside of the communities that we have served. So as it relates to workforce development, our programs are designed to provide training, education, and career exploration guidance tailored not just to the individuals that we serve, but we also have industry sector partnerships that we cultivate and build responsive solutions to industry needs that they may have on the workforce space. As it relates to our youth initiatives, we really focus in on leadership development. Jafria touched on it early on. Excuse me. Jafria touched on it early on about the need to just help to cultivate experiences for the youth to broaden their perspective and become more encouraged and aware about the things and the tools that they need to be successful as they grow into young adulthood. So our youth development programs really focus on building leaders, on establishing additional educational supports, honing in on life skills, and an area that we're all super passionate about is career exploration and planning, planting seeds of vision and opportunity and possibilities while they're young so that they can continue to embark on a path where they make good decisions that set them up to be successful as they enter into their adulthood. Our community outreach efforts are one of my personal favorites. We enjoy doing a lot of events and activities and specialized initiatives, which you'll learn a little about today. And within community outreach, we aim to engage and connect with individuals, families, and organizations through a lot of collaborative partnerships. We, as an organization, do not operate in a silo. We have found tremendous success in collaborating with other organizations with similar missions and also complementary missions. And we have seen that we can have a much greater impact as we unite together in a common vision and mission. So our community campaigns, community service projects, and events all center around promoting unity within the community around a common goal. And lastly, partnerships, which I've mentioned. Tom has shared assortment of strategic partners that we work with, and you'll learn a little bit more about how some of those relationships are instituted into our work on a ground level. But essentially, we work in partnerships with strategic allies to implement our distinctive community transformation model, which aims to foster comprehensive community development for lasting and sustainable change. Excuse me. So over the past 19 years, we have remained committed to developing the workforce of the future. While youth and community engagement are areas that we concentrate in, our workforce development efforts are an area that we focus a lot of energy and attention on. We specialize in developing a workforce of the future through scalable, stackable, and credential-based certifications and trainings. Our technical skills and technical skills development. So our programs provide individuals with the skill sets that they need to not just be successful in the workplace, but also to be successful in their personal life. So we found that focusing on both professional development as well as personal development provides a holistic approach to helping individuals be as successful as possible and also sustain their progression along their career paths. So we take somewhat of a unique approach to developing a workforce, and we'll drill down in a moment to share a little bit more about what our methodology is. But as it relates to industry and the future of workforce, everybody is well aware of talent shortages that exist now and the projections of what is to come. So we have decided to concentrate on 4 primary industries, which is construction, hospitality, information technology, and sustainable energy. So we build training experiences that provide credentials and training and work-based learning for individuals inside of these 4 industry sectors. So over our tenure of doing workforce development, we have touched a little over 1,800 clients through a number of unique and individualized programs. We have helped to individuals to approximately 450 individuals to attain certifications through our programs. Out of the individuals who have come through our program, we are very proud to report over 1,200 folks that have been employed, that have achieved gainful employment. And our calculations of their employment success total to $18 million in income that our organization has helped to generate. And our Training Grounds to Work program helps the job seekers to not just enhance their employability through intensive training and supportive services, but we help to impact lives. And while I am super proud of what some of our program outcomes have been in the workforce development space, the thing that touches my heart the most is the impact that I see in the lives of the individuals, right? So these are just statistics on some of our accomplishments and some of our successes, but these numbers are actually tied to individuals. These numbers are tied to lives. These numbers are actually tied to generations. As men and women become their best selves, they're able to represent and lead their families through better possibilities and outcomes. And in a moment, I will share with you a testimony from one of our participants who has taken advantage of the program, workforce development program experience that we have created. And this will just give you an insight into how the work that we do inside of our classrooms actually translates into real life.
Hello, everyone. My name is Derico Stevens Sr. And I went through Training Grounds about 2015, and around that time, I felt like I ain't have no hope. You know, like, all right, I'm just another guy from Southeast. I'm gonna be another statistic. But once I joined Training Grounds, it really helped me change my mindset on what I wanted to do with my life and how I wanted to change my direction and show my son something better. So now I'm getting the help that I need, am I going to take advantage of it, or am I just going to let it, just let it fly over my head? So I was the one that just felt like, all right, I'm going to take this knowledge and I'm going to run with it. And now I work with W.C. Smith. I'm 3-4 years in with W.C. Smith. One of the best workers that they got, just got an award for excellence. I got my own apartment, just got me a car, and life just couldn't be no much better without training grounds. Like I said, I encourage whoever that's sitting around stuck dwelling on their past or what they're gonna do with their future. You want to come to train, you want to do something, come to training grounds, man. That'll help you change your mindset, but it's up to you to take that knowledge and run with it.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. This is a Chinese proverb that I think most of us have heard, but this is actually a technique that we have seen come to life during our work inside of the workforce development space. Dorico Stevens is one of hundreds of testimonies that we have captured and we have celebrated over our work. And we just wanted to take a moment to share this with you because it really gives a deeper insight into what the impact is that we have. So in speaking to our impact, I shared a little bit about what our workforce development success has been over our tenure, but let's take a look in the direction of what life inside of training grounds has looked like over the last year. So as it relates to workforce development in fiscal year 2022, we graduated 51 job seekers from our construction and hospitality technical skills training program. We assisted 163 individuals by providing career readiness services, which consists of everything ranging from resume development to supportive services referrals, career coaching, interview skills, even providing support to obtain vital records, assisting them with transportation to the interview, everything that encompasses the support needed for them to be successful in preparing preparing to take advantage of career opportunities. And we're also really proud to announce that we have also obtained certifications to become testing centers for 2 internationally recognized accredited bodies, Pearson VUE and Electronic Technicians Association. And we really celebrated this accomplishment because it allows us to create a testing environment inside of our location for participants to not just receive the training, but also to pass internationally recognized and nationally recognized credentials. So we look forward to expanding upon this mechanism as we grow through 2023 and beyond. Excuse me. So as it relates to our engagement with youth, this is always a lot of fun as we interface with our young people. In FY22, we supported a care load of 112 at-risk youth. So in traditional case management, you will hear caseload as a reference, but inside of training grounds, our love managers, which you'll learn a little bit about shortly, refer to the individuals that we are responsible for serving as our care load, right? So we assisted this care load with engagement inside of some targeted experiences, which you'll learn about shortly. And we have also been able to track some pretty significant elevations inside of their personal space. Our Operation Safe Weekend initiative facilitated 32 outings. So Operation Safe Weekends was an initiative established about 5 years ago, and it was built in response to a need to create safe and productive experiences for young people inside of our targeted communities to spend time in during nights and weekends where they were more susceptible to engaging in risky behavior. In a lot of the communities that we serve, there are high crime and high violence incidents. And this was our attempt to keep our young people safe. So within Operation Safe Weekend, we secured resources to take the young people out of the community and immerse them in experiences that expose them to other realities of life. So last year, we created 32 outings for our group of young people to participate in. And this contributed to more than 1,200 safe hours for young people in our targeted communities. Another success that we had in the youth development space was through a partnership with the basketball group. We hosted 2 basketball combines that we are excited to announce that we connected more than 100 high school athletes to colleges and universities all across the country, including the United States Virgin Islands. And these young people showcase their talent and their abilities and actually earn opportunities to receive over $1 million in scholarships. And these were high school juniors and seniors at that time. So a good portion of those individuals are actually celebrating their first semester in college this semester. So we definitely clap for that and these opportunities that young people in our communities are able to experience. On the outreach side, we've had some tremendous impacts. So we have supported 82 families by providing care packages of clothes, groceries, and bill payment assistance in partnership with Love Button Global Movement, which is a nonprofit organization of the rock band Coldplay. We were able to organize a community event right in front of one of our Ward 8 locations. And this was a really exciting and engaging experience. We had over 300 community members and other organizations come out, and we just had a good time in the name of peace and love and community. And we've actually organized and built 21 other community engagement activities in FY22 at various locations. And the total engagement for the experiences that we've created, we have impacted the lives of over 1,000 community stakeholders. And lastly, in the outreach sector, working with underloved individuals of our community, we recognize that people are hurting, that they have experienced significant trauma, and our attempt to address and respond to that need that we have seen and that we witness and that we do our best to support. We built 6 trauma-informed workshops that ran in a series, and we brought in experts to help to teach techniques ranging from healing to unresolved trauma and how to navigate through that. So these facilitators led an average of 84 individuals, through weekly therapeutic group sessions. So last year was super busy for us. This year has been as well, and we have some super exciting intentions as we prepare to close out FY23 and enter into FY24. And we as counterparts to some of the VA Cares affiliates, understand some of the challenges that we all face as human service organizations. So we sent a survey out, and thank you all very much for your feedback. I would like to bring up one of my colleagues, Pierre Lucy, to kind of walk through what our experience was as we were able to assess the voice that you all shared through our survey.
Good morning, Virginia Cares. Hello, once again, my name is Pierre Lucy. I serve as Chief Operating Officer here with Training Grounds. It's an honor to be here with you. Thank you, Lori, for taking us through that piece. I'd like to spend a moment here just talking about this survey that we sent to Virginia Cares and how we are able, with respect to our community transformation model, to potentially address some of the concerns that you all may have in some of your underloved communities. I have had the privilege of working with Training Grounds over the past 10 years and have seen our community transformation model come to life, not only within the lives of individuals, one testimony we saw today, but in the lives of families, and communities. And we absolutely love to get those testimonies with respect to our faith leaders, with respect to our government officials, and businesses and foundations that we work with that tell the stories of the individual successes. So we asked you all about your communities in Virginia. We recognize that communities, although many will have similarities, every community is different, and the demographic and the circumstances that persist within communities are unique. And so we asked you guys, hey, tell us a little bit about what challenges you're seeing, and here's what you told us. We asked how could we help, and here's what you said that you needed help with. 3 primary areas was in the feedback that you gave us. One was in the area of community outreach. You said that you needed support, you needed help with respect to sustaining long-term community involvement, and that is that is something that is unique to communities, right? You also said you needed support with addressing community-specific needs and concerns, recognizing that neighboring communities may have very distinct and different needs and support that's required. And then certainly mental health and trauma support. Training Grounds likes to think that we are a trauma-informed organization, and when we support our communities and we support our care load, when we support our clients, we recognize that there is sometimes significant trauma that has taken place and sometimes generational trauma. And we have to support some in line and enlightened with that. You also said that you need support with respect to workforce development, matching individuals with suitable employment. Not just casting a net saying, hey, here are jobs that are out there, but really identifying unique skill set and making sure that there's a suitable and sustainable employment system that is in place. As well as stimulating employer engagement partnerships, making sure that we have partners that are committed to our communities and are willing to support and invest in our communities with respect to employment. And then as well as building life skills and character development. You will hear with respect to our approach, really how important we believe that this is, building life skills, soft skills, bake that into the cake, if you will, in making sure workforce is ready, engaged, and we have sustainable employment. And then lastly, you said, hey, we could use some support with respect to our citizens within our communities that are reentering society. Employment assistance that is providing jobs or leading to gainful employment. We recognize within all of the communities that we serve, when an individual has been incarcerated, there are some legal and there are some reentry barriers. that are in place, and we need to have a unique approach with respect to that. You also said, obviously, social services is a way. Social service support is an area that you can use help with, and in gaining this feedback, it is not unique to hear some of these things. These are some of the areas that I think that our community transformation model really supports, and some of the impacts that Lori has talked about over the last couple of minutes that we have seen over not only the last 10 to 19 years of being in existence, but over the last year. I think we are getting better and better at this every year. And so the way that we support communities, the way that we partner with organizations that support community is through our community transformation model. And I want to talk about that just for a couple of moments. Our community transformation model, you will see, it literally is the thread that is woven into the tapestry of all of our programs, all of our engagements. And so let me share with you, really, first of all, what we believe community transformation is, right? And hopefully we have a shared understanding and agree on what community transformation is. We believe that community transformation is intended to describe the change within targeted communities. And the change is in a number of different areas. One, human health, social justice, violence prevention and intervention. We've got a strong background with respect to supporting and managing change in these areas. Income, employment, education attainment, population retainment for the communities. We're seeing communities that are being gentrified every day, and if we don't invest in and have a connection to our communities, then our communities will just change and disappear for the worse. Business environment, access to capital, entrepreneurial activities, accountable governance, and civic participation. We believe that these are core ingredients that make for transformation in the community. And we have literally taken these characteristics and put them into 5 categories. And these are the communities of peace that Tom referred to at the beginning of this conversation. So let me tell you what communities of peace are. When we are approaching and partnering with organizations, we are putting programs in place that are accomplishing these 5 pillars. We understand that peace is an acronym, obviously, if you haven't figured that out by now. It's an acronym that stands for prosperity, education, access, commitment, and equity. Prosperity. We understand that community prosperity, it's the collective ability of the community to flourish and thrive by fostering economic growth, social well-being, and environmental sustainability. And so we are always looking to build prosperity within the communities and ways to do that. But we know that this is an interconnected thing. And so we have to address education within the community, right? It's the foundation of progress for social development, plays a crucial role in empowering individuals and transforming communities. So our programs are education-based. We understand that education is a foundation to not only gaining employment, but to self-assurance, esteem, community pride. It's a very important component. However, what we found, as I'm sure many of you found, that access is a real barrier with respect to thriving communities. Access to funding, access to home ownership, access to business opportunities and community empowerment. When our communities have access to these core components, we see transformation. And so we are working every day to help our community, individuals in our community, businesses within our community, social organizations within our community, to get access to these components, which we know cause communities to thrive. Commitment. That C is commitment. All too often, there's not a strong enough commitment to communities and the growth and prosperity and education and access within that community. So a community that's committed to active participation, a community that's committed to cooperation for the well-being and betterment of that community, it holds a great power for progress and resilience. And then equity. Listen, without equity, the ability to have ownership within the community can't thrive. Equity is essential for fostering fair and inclusive community. It ensures that everybody has an equal opportunity to succeed, and we have to make sure that there is equity within our communities. Once we have the pride of ownership within communities, you'll see communities transforming. So this model, this community transformation model, it underwrites. It is a thread. It is the tapestry that you'll see in all of our programs. Today, I cannot get into the detail of the model, but I can tell you that this tapestry of peace, it supports all of our programs, the way that we approach workforce development, the way that we approach our youth and young adult initiatives, the way that we approach our community outreach, and the way that we approach our collaborative partnerships. My hope is that Virginia Cares will want to know more about our community transformation model, how it works, how it can work in your communities, and spur that conversation along. With that said, go ahead and switch the model, the slide. I want to show you how integrating the principles of peace in our community-centered programs bring to life this model. But I'm not going to do that. I want to hand this over to the person that is really responsible for our workforce and programs within our workforce to kind of talk to how that DNA works in our approach to workforce development. So with that, I'm going to hand the baton over to our programs director, Quincy Pratt. Quincy, are you ready?
I am ready. Good morning, everybody. Can y'all hear me well? Can everybody hear me?
Yes,
Thumbs
we
up.
can hear you.
Yes, sir.
We can hear you.
Good
Yeah.
morning.
Fantastic. Before I go forward, I kind of got to step backwards a little bit. Pierre, you said something really critical about our model, and I really do wish we had another 8 hours so we could really dive into how we actually execute our model, right? And in this model, the E stood out so much for me, the equity part. Tom and Lori and I as well, and you also, Pierre, we could talk for a very long time about how we actually are in communities, right? And based on the E, based on the equity, right? Trying to give our clients, our participants, right? Fair and equitable access to housing, to employment, and things that they're working towards and actually deserve. So with that, how do we approach workforce development? In everything that we do, our guiding principle, starting from Tom Brown, is actually love, right? That's where we start. And these things here are in order. Our approach to love management, which you may have heard as case management before, is holistic, right? So when it comes to workforce development, we're doing things such as getting people ready for careers. In all of our programs, we incorporate some version of soft skills along with the hard skills. We do professional development, financial literacy, financial stewardship. We're helping folks get certifications. Everyone that comes and touches our program gets a thorough assessment, right? And all of the things that we do after that point starts from that assessment, right? And assessment seeks to answer a really basic question. Who are you and how can we help you, right? We really understand that some of our clients have barriers to employment, and we want to address what some of those barriers actually are, right? And we're all doing this sort of work, so we kind of know what some of the barriers actually are. Sometimes it's just, I don't have a suit to wear, right, to go on an interview. Guess what? Training Grounds helps with that, right? Sometimes we're bringing in some of our own clothes to help with that. We also have partnerships to help with that. In fact, we just sent, I think, 4 young people out with a partner of ours to actually get suits and ties and things for interviews that will be coming up. So we're looking forward to them getting actually employed. Career planning and mapping. Pierre talks a great deal about the model of SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, right? In some cases, folks don't know, where they're going, and they may not have a realistic approach to actually get there, right? And love management or case management steps in to help guide them through that process, right? What is the goal and how do we actually achieve it and start to walk into that direction? So that's generally how we approach case management or love management within our workforce development here at Training Grounds. Entrepreneurship. Now, here's where I want to go back a little bit. When Tom Brown first started, what he didn't mention was that I was one of those kids at Anacostia Senior High School before I went off to undergrad and grad school and all those things and came back to Training Grounds. I've been working with Tom Brown and Training Grounds on and off for maybe 15, 16 years since the inception of Training Grounds in some different capacities. We've done so much work, you would not even believe it. And I see the numbers that we have put up, and I can promise you that the numbers that we really have are a lot more than those, right? The early years of Training Grounds weren't about really trying to, capture numbers and information in that sort of regard, right? It was just about going to communities, really trying to love people and help people, right? So some of my earliest interactions with Training Grounds was around entrepreneurship. He literally taught the class in NIFTY at Anacostia, the National Foundation for Teaching Entrepreneurship, on how to actually get a business, how to start a business. And at that time, I actually did a business plan, which came in second place. And because of my business idea, one of his partners, one of the earliest partners of Training Grounds, actually gave us a van to get our business off the ground and started. So what does this look like in real life, right? In real life, I left and went to college, right? While in college, I managed the entire store while actually working after school with points, right? While getting 2 degrees. And I left Johnson C. Smith University debt-free, $80,000+ education paid for, right? Because of this entrepreneurship piece. So when it comes to Training Grounds and the things that we're actually trying to instill and work with our people in, right? Entrepreneurship is actually at the center of that. All the different things that we did early on, going to New York, buying stuff, teaching people how to sell things and make a profit, that was part of our entrepreneurship. So here at Training Grounds, we actually promote that. We're helping people get into LLCs and things of that nature. In addition to the love management, we have wraparound services. Some of those wraparound services include transportation assistance, child care services when needed, legal support, and expungement services, which is quite a big deal for our returning citizens. We're working with partners right now who are actually looking at some of our returning citizens, what charges they may have, and helping to get some of those charges expunged from their record, which is very, very helpful in the employment process. We have partners with the Department of Behavioral Health for substance abuse treatment and recovery, food assistance, peer support and mentoring programs, emergency assistance and crisis intervention, and we always provide follow-up and aftercare services to all of our clients. A best practice for love managing returning citizens. As mentioned earlier, we're currently running cohorts right now out of PG County for returning citizens where they're getting 3 certifications in 3 weeks. But as we mentioned, it's not just about the certifications. In addition to the certifications, they're also getting soft skills and life skills. And we're running a similar project with CSOSA here in DC for returning citizens as well, where they're getting 4 certifications in 4 weeks, but also a lot of soft skills and life skills as well. And the reason why we integrate that into our program is because we understand that sometimes our folk are able to get jobs, right? and we want to help them to maintain employment long term, right? And the soft skills is the thing that really binds them to that, not just for entry level employment, but for upper level employment as they move forward in their careers, right? We also provide supportive services. We're collaborating with community partners and leveraging available resources to provide immediate assistance with essential needs. Peer recovery and family reunification, that is a huge part of what we do. Establishing a support system enhances the likelihood of successful reintegration. For our returning citizens, this is a really, really critical piece. Some of our returning citizens have been away for a very long time, some for short periods of time, and they're reacclimating back into their family lives, their children's lives, right? So we have an actual program that actually helps pull that together, right? Where we're meeting with the families and we're doing family reunification. Skills development, empowering clients with the tools and knowledge necessary to secure stable employment, manage healthy relationships, and to contribute positively to society. We do that every day in our workforce development program. And I think we have a break at this point.
Well, we've said a lot, and this has been a great privilege, but we also understand that it's important that we take a little break here. The clock has started, so we'll see you back in a few moments. Thank you again. Look forward to the finishing portion of our presentation.
Hey, so Tom, we got what, 5 minutes? A 5-minute break? That what we doing?
Yes. Yes. I
Okay.
thought you were off to see the screen. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then. Let's get back to 5 minutes.
You're down to 422 now, sir. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, 5
All right,
minutes.
people, we got 418. Let's make good of it.
We won't hold you hostage. If it needs to be an extra minute, we totally understand.
All right. Thank you, man. We appreciate you. You guys are doing a wonderful job, man. I'm glad you guys signed on to help us with this.
Man, the pleasure is ours, really. We love, as you can see, everybody on here loves doing what we do, man.
Right.
Doing what we do. You got some other great stuff on the second half coming up that hopefully is going to excite you all even more.
Yeah, Quincy said something that struck out when he said love management, and that's one of the things that we really need in this kind of work, man, because a lot of people that come through our doors, man, a lot of them are underloved, like you said, but that make a lot of sense.
Well, most people want to be loved. They don't want to be cases. So case management is one thing, but love management is quite different, as we found.
Can I tell you a quick story, Mr. West, while you just sitting here waiting with us?
Yes, sir.
We have a class going on right now, and Tom zoomed in, and he asked the class, I think it was the first day, what's one of the things you got from us in Training Ground so far? And one of the young men said, we got that we aren't being judged, right? That this is a judgment-free zone. And when you hear the word love management, you hear Tom talk about love, and you don't really get a real perspective of what that's really like unless you're actually in here, right? That is a thing that is actually real and is talked about, and we're actually trying to provide love, right? So when that person said that, that's what he was actually experiencing, right? In that moment, he was dealing with a group of people who was not judging him, his situation, where he was from, his background, nothing at all, was just trying to provide some help.
Right.
And if you talk to any of our people that we've ever serviced to any degree, you'll get that sort of that they felt respected no matter who they were and what their background was, and that they got love. They may not be able to communicate the love part, but man, that is really the secret sauce. It honestly is. It's the love thing that's the thing that Tom is talking about, right? People just want to be loved. They want to be cared about, right? They want to be cared for. They want to know somebody gives a daggone.
Right.
Boy, Quincy, I didn't know you were going to say that, but that's just the way I wrote it.
Get out of I thought it was just me and Mr. West here. Supposed to be on break.
No, it's not.
Exactly like you wrote it, huh?
It's the God's honest truth, man. It really,
Right.
really is. And I mean that from my core.
I know we're not being preachy here, but that just goes with the scripture. How will people know that you're my disciples? By the love that you have one towards another. And we are disciples doing this work. I love his presentation, especially the peace circle.
Be preachy, please. Be preachy.
Yes, I'm loving the peace circle. I know you can't see me, but I broke my foot. I've been in for a long time, but this training is really excellent. I am loving. Thank you, Mr. West, for bringing this presentation to us today. And now I'm going back on mute because what y'all are doing is servitude. And if we become more servants for those who were Judases and Peters, we'll have more people wanting to pay a water bill, light bill, bringing economic development back into our communities. And that's all I got to say.
Praise God. You said a whole lot.
Thank you for saying that. Yes, thank you for saying that. I ain't got time. I done ran out of time. I gotta go use the bathroom right quick.
We're having too much fun.
Yeah.
Go, please, sir. Please, Mr. West, go through whatever you need to do, sir. Please.
All right, that's what I'm going to do, my guy.
Yes, sir.
Maybe. She can probably go.
Mute yourself, Quincy.
Oh, my bad.
All right. Well, I hope you all had a good break. Had a chance to stretch your legs, refill your cups of coffee. In my case, hot tea. And I just ask that you all continue to bear with me in my cough. I'm coming out on the other side of a pretty bad case of bronchitis, but I am still grateful and blessed to be able to share this time and space with you all this morning. I know we have said and shared a lot, and there's much more about us and our work that we want to present to you all today. And there will be time allotted near the end of our presentation for questions and comments. So you all can feel free to jot them down or pop them in a chat, and we'll make sure that we that we have space to review. So we talked a lot about our approach to workforce development as it relates to how we approach engaging the youth populations that we serve, and just piggybacking on some of the comments that were shared during the break. Love is the key. Love is the solution. Love is a theme that is embedded within our work, and is actually the output of our work as well. We have an initiative in our youth division called Love, which stands for Lifting Our Values Every Day. And this essentially encourages the young people to hold their heads high, to acknowledge and to embrace values that are important and critical to them being successful and productive young people, which will help them grow into successful and productive adults. So our youth development approach really helps to develop and empower youth to become the best versions of themselves through participation in interactive workshops, programs, and events that we host. So these are our larger youth and young adult programs. We serve young people as young as 5 and young adults as old as 24 through a number of programs and initiatives. So Biz and Hoops, we're really proud that this past summer we celebrated our 12th season with our Biz and Hoops program, which essentially is a summer basketball season, usually about 4 weeks. We start after the 4th of July and go into August. And this is an opportunity during Friday nights and Saturday nights inside of targeted communities for young adults and the larger community that supports them to come into a safe and a fun environment. We have a DJ, we have a camera crew that is playing instant replays. We have entertainment that happens during half times and transitions between the different teams and concession stand. And we just celebrate these young men and women balling out in the name of peace and unity. One of the special things that happens within Biz and Hoops is that there's a draft that takes place at the beginning of the season. And this is an opportunity for individuals from different neighborhoods, oftentimes neighborhoods that could be viewed as in opposition with each other. We select individuals from different areas to play on one team. And there's a professional development component that happens called our locker room experience before each game, where we bring the 2 teams into a classroom setting for 20 minutes and take them through a fun and interactive workshop experience, and then they go out on the court and play. But this, the Biz and Hoops League is a very powerful and profound experience to be a part of because we see barriers that are broken down. We see unification that emerges as these primarily men, but we also have young ladies that play in our league as well. They are sitting aside neighborhood perspective and come together for the spirit and the love of the game. And it's really amazing to watch. So these leagues run primarily from 7 to 11 or 8 to midnight, depending on what facility we use. But we have had tremendous impact and success in this space. Our youth and after school and summer drop-in programs are always fun. They provide enrichment experiences for young people in targeted community to just have a safe and a loving environment to come in and learn and grow and thrive underneath the leadership of our youth development team. Operation Safe Weekend, I talked a little bit about that earlier. It's been really cool to watch eyes open up and perspectives expand about just different parts of the region and the area that young people don't typically get to see. When I first started in the community workspace, I was really surprised at the number of young people that have not gone far beyond their neighborhood where they grew up in, where their home is, where their school is. And, you know, for me, my parents exposed me to so much. You know, I traveled, I went to visit family and friends in other areas. I participated and, you know, spent time and space in different activities in the DMV. So to be made aware that there are young people that, you know, have not gone beyond a 5-mile radius of their home for most of their life, really pricked my heart. And so we poured a lot of intentionality into our Operation Safe Weekend experiences to make sure that they were exposed, you know, take them to a farm, go to Delaware to the beach, just a number of things that help to instill hope and inspiration into the lives of our young men and women. And lastly, Esports for Peace, which is one of our newer initiatives, has a career exploration focus where it is a club for the young gamers to come and play each other competitively, but we also deal with a lot of life skill development, as well as help them get a deeper insight into career opportunities in the world of gaming. And it's been really cool to watch their transformation and elevation through through the esports lab. So before I get into
security, see if your cameras are allowed.
Before I get into the next slide, I just wanted to kind of share some context about one of our more popular youth initiatives, which is our Youth Symposium. And this is a dynamic day of information, entertainment, where youth convene on a Saturday morning, to just fellowship and grow and learn, all within the theme of peace. And this video presentation that is coming up will kind of give you all a highlight of what our Youth Symposium experiences look like and feel like for young people. We target ages 11 through 17. So our youth symposiums are an incredibly exhilarating experience. We were so excited to host these events. This year alone, we have engaged a little over 200 young people who have come out to these experiences. We emphasize and promote opportunities for civic engagement. We have issued over 1,000 community service hours, and we've also captured the youth voice through the collection of a little over 100 surveys where young people gave us their thoughts and insights and experience as it relates to violence inside of their neighborhoods as well as their school, and some of the things that interest them and that they would like to see more, do more, and experience more of. And through our partnership with Prince George's County, who helped to support these experiences, we have been able to pass the youth's voice on to task force that are focused on youth engagement. And we're hoping that this insight will help to influence the county's support and approach to engaging young people inside of our neighborhoods. So super proud of these experiences and look forward to facilitating many more. So with that, we shared a lot about the youth programs that happen inside of the training ground space, but E3 is doing some really dynamic work with young people as well. So I would like to turn the spotlight over to Japria to talk a little more about E3 and the work that is being done to help grow and empower young people as well.
Thank you, Lori. Good morning again to everyone. My name is Japria Tyler. I am the founder of E3. But I want to talk a little bit about what exactly is E3, what is the purpose behind it, how did I even come up with the idea to put together E3. So the E3 actually stands for Expose, Experience, Elevate. And the purpose of that is, one, our biggest thing is we can't expect our youth to do anything different if we don't expose them to anything different. So being in the classroom and being a former teacher, seeing that our kids need other opportunities. They need us to be able to help them to build on interests that they may have. Just in something as small as so we have trade opportunities, but in addition to that, kids who we want to be able to provide hope to, kids that are in these neighborhoods that could use an extra push. They can use the extra knowledge and education on other opportunities and options that they may have that are out there. So part of our job is to be able to provide them with that opportunity, provide them with that experience, and things that are beyond the classroom. Another thing was I have seen firsthand, there's a lot of kids who are not necessarily interested in school per se. Yes, we know that school is top priority, but being realistic, there's a lot of kids who are not just so completely on school. And I say that in terms of college. Yes, I am a college graduate. Graduated from VCU. I do have a college degree. However, there's a lot of kids that either can't afford it or they just don't have an interest to attend college whatsoever. So it then becomes, well, what do we do and what can we offer for those youth that don't want to go to college? If they can't afford to go to college, do we brush them off to the side, or is there a way that we can help them, to give them hope, to change their mindset, to let them know you can be something? It does not have to be college. College is great. And there's a lot of successful people that have attended college, but we can't allow you guys to just fall by the wayside and not give you anything, because it does not go along with the mission to get our kids to attend college. So then we have to provide them with something different for them. If we want to see them elevate in life, to actually see them be successful, we have to be the ones to step in and provide them with that experience and put them in position to where they have access to those opportunities. And if there may be some things, I've also noticed there's a lot of kids who they don't know about a lot of the opportunities that they do have. They don't know about a lot of the different trades that are out there, a lot of the different businesses they can start and things of that nature. They just simply don't know. So being able to provide our youth with the knowledge of the different trades that may be out there and making it cool to do something different, do your own thing. There's not a lot of kids there's a lot who likes to, like we have the basketball, we have the dance, we have the cheer. Yes, all of that is cool, but what about the other things and the other trades and opportunities that do exist for our kids that may not be interested? So you see a lot of kids that end up outside, they hang out in the neighborhoods, and we also have the increase in violence, but they feel like there's no outlet. They don't have anything. They don't have any other way. They don't know anything else. So it's then now I go outside and now they're committing crimes. But the goal of E3 is to prevent those things from happening by being able to provide our youth with the education and the trade opportunity and exposure to the different experiences that they could have. That way we don't have to, they have something else to put their mind to. So also letting them know there is hope. Yes, you may not be the top basketball player like your friend that's in your class, but guess what? You now know you can either be a chef, you can either be, a lot of people are interested in fashion design. We can teach you how to sew. We also have cosmetology. We also have a braiding program for our young ladies, things that are outside of your normal sports that are not necessarily being taught in school, but you can still be successful in a way that is not being presented to you up front. So that is what E3 really hones on to, being able to provide them with that experience and exposure to other opportunities that they may have. So Training Grounds, I know, has a big focus on the young adults, but we want to be able to also, in addition to the young adults, we want to be able to start them as early as elementary, put it in front of their face and be able to give them that exposure as early as possible to start them on a path to success, to already put in place that growth mindset, to let them know, okay, I can actually be something. Yes, my community may look like this, my home may look like this, my parents may not be as knowledgeable of these things, but I have E3 to be able to provide me with that knowledge, let me know I can be something, and push me in a position to be successful. In addition to the trades, we also have financial literacy, which is also just as important for our young children as it is for adults. I will say there is a lot of information that I wish I had known earlier on than now as an adult. So being able to just provide them with that information and those opportunities. So we have, in addition to that, we have, you guys had mentioned earlier about the family reunification. So we have these parents that are re-entering, and we want to also be able to provide an opportunity for their children, to be able to connect them with their children on another level by providing the whole family hope, by providing the whole family exposure to different things, being able to bring them together on another level, things that the parents may not necessarily have the expertise to do, but now we have Training Grounds that can help you guys with the adults, the parents that are returning, but then we have E3 on the other hand that can bring in the children to be able to bring you all together to make the whole family successful. So I want to also mention being able to provide our young children with career exploration, and then also opportunities to be able to start their own businesses. One of the things that we do have, and we just did our last one in August right before school started, is the Ready, Set, Recess, which is a community programming that we do where it's set up as a field day. The families are able to come out and enjoy. They have the food, the concessions, the games, the moon bounce, all of the fun things. But the most important thing is we have the youth entrepreneurs to come out to be able to, if they have small businesses, being able to get out, get that exposure, sell their products, get a profit from it. And from our lesson, we've had kids as young as 3, where parents have already kind of put them in position to get businesses. And then we had some, our oldest, I want to say she was 12. We had some that were crocheting, some that were making hats, some that were doing ceramics. Kids that had a wider range of different things that they were interested in. But again, once we put these opportunities in front of them and give them the exposure to these different trades, now what do we do? So that's where being able to allow them to now present what they have created and express their creativity through their creations. And now I can also make a profit out of it. The kids are completely so. Not only have you helped me get here and let me know I can do this, now you're giving me that opportunity to put this in front of everyone else, and they're also buying into what I have, and we have not, there has been no violence involved, nothing illegal involved, nothing that, it has been all your true passion, something that you really love, and you've been able to do it out of joy, and now you're able to make something out of it. So not only that, a safe space where our kids are, they know that they are okay while they're there. Everybody is there for the same goal. We're all there to have fun. There's no violence involved, and just feel safe and be able to build positive relationships with your peers, people that look like you, that are of your age, that are doing positive things, being able to build upon one another, being able to just see there's other things for me to be able to participate in outside of committing crimes, violent things, or just simply not knowing. So providing that knowledge with them. So we also have after school program that is at our local elementary and middle schools. And the program is set up as a 4-week program where the kids are able to get hands-on experiences where we partnership with local small businesses and professionals that come in and provide the kids with these hands-on experiences over the course of the 4-week program, where the kids are able to see exactly how it's done, but then also they're able to do it themselves to prepare them to be able to do something like that later on in life. If that's something that they chose, they now have the exposure from the program. Also in those 4 weeks, so there's 2 to 3 times a week that we will go out to the school, or if not the school, at a community center where we have the program. Those 3 weeks will be set up to visit the kids at least 2 to 3 times a week, providing them a safe space to come in and learn and build with their peers, and also gain this knowledge and experience and exposure to something that could be life-changing for you. Also being able to provide you with those real life skills. Something is, I always go back to something as simple as classes like home ec not being taught in schools anymore. I still know how to sew by hand. I don't know how to use a sewing machine. I can sew by hand, but that's something that I learned in middle school, but I still know how to do that. There's a lot of kids now who don't know how to do that. But if we are considering these communities, we have to understand, we have to meet them where they are. But at the same time, if a kid now gets a hole in their shirt, trust me, they are not gonna know what to do. But if there's no money or anything being generated for them to be able to replace that shirt, the shirt's just gonna go on the trash. But if they have those skills to be able to pull out the needle and thread or the sewing machine and put it back together, it's back good as new. And now we don't have to worry about these kids going without, because they had the skills to be able to do on their own. Culinary things that you may not want to be a chef, but this can be something that can help you in your everyday life, where you're able to now help support your family at home, or just something that mom may be at work, you need to be able to make yourself something quick, being able to provide them with those real life skills that can take them a long way. So just giving the kids those opportunities and helping them out and their families and providing them with those opportunities. So we would love to be able to help you all's youth as well by being able to provide them with the trade opportunities that we have to offer, teaching them what goes beyond the classroom, helping them to be successful in life, letting them know there's other things that are out there. There's people that are out there that will help you, and we want to be able to grow your interest and provide you with the opportunity to be something that maybe you've always dreamed to be, but you did not know the way to go, or you did not have access to be able to get the knowledge on those, of those programs. So E3 wants to be able to provide Virginia Cares with the programming for the young children to be able to let them know there's something different. You can do something different, and provide them with that hope. If you want to do it, we have the programming for you. We want you to be successful, and we'd rather start you earlier on. So these are lifelong skills that you'll have forever. And then once you know you may not be able to do a full, yes, you may not be able to get that full, I'm gonna lose my train of thought. We want to just be able to provide them with the exposure and experience. So if you guys, we would love if you guys would allow us to assist with that. And thanks again.
Well, thank you. And,
Thank you, sir.
thank you. And I know, by us working with adults, I know a lot of the staff members probably wondering, but the thing we got to understand with reentry, it's got to be a holistic approach. You got to deal with the whole family. So that's why I wanted to invite you guys on, and we look forward to working with you guys.
Thank you so much. We look forward to working with you guys as well.
And thank you so much, Jabria, for just sharing that insight. You are absolutely right about the power of exposing young people to the experiences. Part of the work in reentry is not just dealing with post-incarceration, but there's also a prevention that we have to be more intentional about in this space, and it starts with our children. So youth programming is essential to this work that we're all convening around. So with that, we are going to move right through the next section of our presentation, and I'll turn it over back to Tom to talk a little about our approach to community engagement.
I was just excited because everything Jabria laid out is so critical to this whole piece. And Mr. Wester, have you share those few comments and response? Just lets us know that we're talking to the right audience. Because sometimes people just want to get to the sign off, checking the box, and moving through, and we're not that kind of organization.
Right.
We're coming with real passion and obviously some capacity and intentions. And if given the opportunity, we want to be able to share that there's a whole approach that we have to take. We're just spinning wheels. So thank you for your comments, and Jabria, thank you for. I was over here just jumping, getting excited because you're expert. So think nothing less, but I'm just very proud that we get a chance to work together with you. Excuse me. Community engagement approach, really simple. We kind of have it divided into these three categories, but it certainly is not limited to. Public education is a big piece. People just don't know, as Priya said, what they don't know. So it's important information as current events, policies, and different scenarios that may affect their life, anything around, whether it's around public health issues, public safety issues, even political issues that they just got to know the processes, right? Just something to keep our people educated and aware, part of the pillar, right, of peace, education. Trauma-informed care. So you got to actually have an understanding, training, and capacity, and the kind of care needed when you're going into and you're part of the communities that we've been addressing as underloved all day. And it's not just being nice and the love. You also have to be skilled and have a system and a program to manage, to approach and manage these processes and monitor them as they're moving along, which Quincy's going to share a little bit of that in a moment. And community empowerment, as you all can see and you're about to see in a moment, we love events, but we don't like to have parties just for sake of parties, right? We get people together to get information exchanged, to share information. We dress it up in so many different ways. If you can roll through the next 2 or 3 slides, I'm gonna one of the things that did come up though, I'm sorry, this next video is the violence. And so we were pulled into by DC government into a major initiative, and we took our Live in Peace, Now Rest in Peace. And this is just a little snippet coming up. Lori, if you can hit that.
Four masked gunmen jumped out of a sedan last night and opened fire near a playground in Northeast. 4 adults were also hurt in that shooting.
With all the lives of all the children throughout the United States that have been taken, we at this point need some action.
What a beautiful life. All that I've got is all that I need. I got you, and baby, you got me. What more could I ask for? Beautiful life. We got beautiful life. I got a beautiful life. Beautiful life. Listen, I woke up this morning, y'all. The sun was shining oh so brightly. I thought about how good this life is. Back in the day, it wasn't always like this.
So this was just a snippet of one of the Live in Peace, Now Rest in Peace forums and community gatherings where we created a fun-filled environment for children from as young as 4 years old to people, seasoned adults, to come out and share what their perspectives are, what their experiences are, and what solutions they would offer to us, to all of us that are on this screen today as caregivers and overseers and people that actually provide program and services to them and their neighbors. So that just was a snippet. Can we go on to the next couple of slides? And these next couple of slides will just kind of show you the vast amount of programs and events. Rolling for Peace is one where we actually took live bands on the back of a truck promoting Live in Peace through neighborhoods in and around. We had, Sugar Bear EU and many others, community forums, Live in Peace forums I mentioned. These are just some real time dates and events that we've done. Next one. So you all can get a sense of, from a targeted community engagement standpoint, these were targeting specific communities. Now this were, set up around community events and different other gatherings for the general public to promote a message or specific. In this case here, we had the game night where we had a bunch of e-gamers come out. Quincy heads that whole thing up. Charm City Kings, Jahi Winston, who's a well-known actor, you all may know, he came out and during COVID and did a free screening. We had about 500 people attend at RFK Stadium parking lot, where he did a free screening. He and many of the actors in that particular movie came out and treated the community, and we were able to gather people to share information. Men Mondays, Community Fish Fry, just so many different things. You can see the vast array football clinics of things that we, help to put together. And then, it just goes on and on. Mother's Day luncheon, coffee pop-ups. And so these are the kind of things. I wish we had some flyers from Ready, Set, Recess, because I thought the pictures and images from that were just so super, they were just cool. And I would love to you all have seen the people out playing just silly, regular, old school recess games in Anacostia Park. And what Japria and her organization put together is something I'm looking to get her to lead us and teach us even more and more how to, work together on that. Because I thought that was a brilliant concept and a brilliant approach to getting people together of all generations, but putting the children up front. Often we do things and children are like the background and the grown-ups up front. But I love the idea of having E3 and the way that she puts children up front, and that's priceless. Next slide. And this is just, this case study is really about adaptive community engagement. If you all may not remember this because it was a long time ago, but this area was hit with a pandemic. And it forced organizations like ours that were very touchy-feely in everything that you've seen to figure out what else can we do. Now we're stuck with this contact and this distance and all these things. what can we do? So we kind of shifted, if you will, pulled in a lot of great partners, and through the partners, you know, emergency food solutions, distributions, mutual aid networks, therapeutic services, things that I'm sure are common to everybody on here. And we distributed over 30,000 hot meals through our partnership with Martha's Table over in Southeast DC. And bottles of water, we learned were important to get to those households who couldn't get water. So over 20,000 bottles of water, 1,200 care packages. So these are just the kind of things that we understand when we talk about customization, be able to shift and say, okay, that worked in this community or this portion of Virginia, but in this other portion of Virginia, we have to be able to shift into another kind of service offering, or the way that we structure the way how this is all shaped and presented. So this was just to give you an idea of how we were faced with that unexpectedly and were able to make great strides and impacts. With that, on the next one, I'm going to hand this over to Quincy Pratt, who's going to take us through a couple of slides to really give us a quick synopsis of Love Management. We have a closing video, and then we're done.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. We've talked a bit about Love Management already, and I'll be brief through these next couple of slides. But we want you to really get a sense of how differs from case management, right? And throughout this presentation itself, I think you've already got a sense of how we do things strategically and a little bit different that is very, very, very unique to us, and which really makes up our community transformational model, right? Is someone asking the question? I'm sorry. Is that my mic?
No, I think that's just open mic.
No.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Okay, our philosophy. Love Manager fulfills traditional case management duties of our organization, but receives specialized training and development in Training Grounds' client-centered approach to care management by utilizing proven best practices, methodologies, and a customized care management system. And this is our care management system, right? We talked earlier about our approach to Love Management being holistic. And we really, 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 really mean that deeply. And on the next slide, we'll talk a bit about our individual transformational plans. But, you know, it all starts with that assessment, right? To have a conversation and to get to know an individual. Sometimes it is not, for obvious reasons, as acute as, you know, sitting in front of a person or a computer and doing an entire plan. Sometimes people need emergency help, emergency services right then and there, right? And we have a plan in place to actually address that right then and there, with some of our own internal stuff and some of our external partners and things like that. But to read this real fast, strength-based perspective, again, we have a holistic approach, cultural sensitivity and inclusivity. Outcome-focused evaluation. This is really, 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 really important to us, right? Not just to the individual, but to us as an organization to try to identify what we actually did with an individual, right? And in some cases, these aren't humongous goals, right? In some cases, it's a simple matter of we helped an individual get an ID or birth certificate, right? And to us professionals, it may seem simplistic and not important, right? But to a person who may be in this situation, it is a big, big deal. And it's a goal that got accomplished, right? Goal-oriented planning, empowerment, and self-efficacy, and resourcefulness and advocacy. Can you move on, Lori? Oh, sorry, I had my slides backwards. My apologies. The guiding principles of Love Management. One is the stages of change. This is a class that I teach myself. And the stages of change, if you've ever taught it yourself or been a part of a group that talked about the stages of change, it really helps a person identify where they are currently at in every single piece of their life, right? So in all of our workforce development programs and things like that, I really try to incorporate the stages of change in there. So a person that, you know, goes beyond us and our classes can really understand, hey, I might be in this place. Let me, you know, identify where I am. How do I identify where I am, right? And how do I get to the next step? And how do I plan to get to the next step, right? The stages of change forces you into a situation where you can't lie to yourself, right? If you tell me you're looking for a job, okay, you're looking for a job, right? What are you doing to actually find that job? Now, if you tell me that you haven't done any work or anything to actually find that job, right, then you might exist in one stage of change, right? But then the perspective comes in, well, how do I usher you into the actual thing, right? How do we actually start to look for employment, right? Do we have a resume together? Do we have the clothing ready for an interview when it comes up, right? Things like that. Pathways to transformation, it emphasizes a holistic approach, considering various facets of a person's life and development. It helps love managers create customized plans that align with the client's unique strengths, goals, and circumstances. Tom and everyone else talked a bit about our trauma-informed standards of care. And as Tom mentioned, it's not just about hugs and kisses and love, right? This actually goes into some of the educational pieces of where we are in terms of our care right now, right? 10, 15, 20 years ago, we weren't talking about trauma-informed care. We weren't. It wasn't a thing, right? But through research, information, and understanding, we now know that this is the best approach to have in order to help a client move forward, right? And we need to present ourselves with the appropriate amount of sensitivity and understanding as we're delivering and giving services to our clients. Our individual transformational plans, you've probably heard this in other types of ways, individual employment plans, individual therapy plans, all types of things like that, right? But this is our way to really get with an individual, assess the individual, right? Figure out what some of the needs are and strategically start to actually help address what some of those things are. A lot of this actually takes place right in-house. Some of the things that actually takes place outside of house, right? Like, for example, education and training. We do a lot of education and training right in-house, as we talked about, right? And with our upcoming programs that we have coming online as well. But there's some people who come to our program who may want a different training, right? And we as experts and love managers, we connect them with the correct types of trainings that they actually want to be connected with and try to help them find resources and fundings for that. But some of those plans, not some, but the plans include actionable steps, right? Things that we identify and how to get there, skills development, wellness, self-care, communication and collaboration, monitoring and evaluation to name just a few of those things that we do in our transformational plans. With the last thing probably being the monitoring and evaluation. That's where we're actually getting back with the person, right? Looking at the plan, seeing what goals got accomplished, what didn't get accomplished, how we can continue and further help those things that get accomplished and things of that nature. All right, now at this time, I'm going to turn it back over.
Tom, if you're talking, you're muted.
Thank you, Quincy, very much. I was just asking Lori to play. Lori, I need you just to play the video.
your life. It's time to stand up and fight. It's all right. It's all right. And we will take the caravan to the motherland. One by one, we're gonna stand up and fight. One that can't be denied. Stand up, stand up, stand up. From the highest mountain and valley low, we'll join together with hearts of gold. Now the children of the world can see there's a better way for us to be. The place where mankind was born is so neglected and torn. Torn apart. Every woman, every man, join the caravan. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Everybody take a stand. Join the caravan. I'm your brother. I'm your brother. Don't you know? I'm your brother. I'm your brother. Don't you know? You can live in a world of peace. In the day, everyone is free. We are young love. Won't you let your love from your heart and live on every man? Join the caravan of love.
Well, thank you, Lori. Thank you all so much for giving us this wonderful time. I am going to hand it off to our fearless leader, Jerry Tyler, and he just be brief so that if there happens to be any questions or comments you all would like to make. Take it away, Mr. Jerry Tyler, our visionary leader.
Once again, I want to thank all of you. I think that this meeting was productive. I pray that, what we deliver and what we offer, that you will accept and let God allow to speak to your heart, and that knowing that we are there for you, like we want you to be there for us. But for one and for all, we're there to definitely be a great servant of what we're trying to serve, and that's the people. Just like my cousin Lori said, all about love. We're trying to demonstrate that, not only in just lip sync, but actually demonstrate that, because we love the people. We are part of the people, and we want to be a part of this program. Virginia Cares, we just pray that you just allow us to do what we want to do and have to do for all. And with that, I just want to, again, just acknowledge everybody. Spoke well, had something to say, and just enjoy, what's about to begin, a new beginning. And we thank you.
Mommy, I did it.
So Jerry, let me ask this question, Jerry. You guys work, excuse me, you guys work mostly in DC and Maryland area?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got it.
Okay.
But that's currently, we actually have other areas like yours that now we're responding to, that have wanted to hear from us, that
Gotcha.
interest of bringing us. So we built this model so that it's scalable. And so the reason why we're here is so that we may be able to have opportunities to work with some of your areas that, whenever you all are ready. That's our history is DC and Maryland.
Right.
But our future is our borders unknown, and we're prepared to do whatever it is that you all would see. Let's see, Mr. Williams.
All right. Well, thank you guys. And surely enough, I will be in touch with you guys. No question about that. But thank you guys for coming on and presenting us with that information. It's very informative. I got a lot out of it. I appreciate you guys doing it. I'm sure the staff got a lot out of it. And again, man, just thank you guys and be looking out for a text or something from me, or email or something.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. I believe I see a hand up on here. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh,
Anthony, I just wanted to say, you know, I'm all about a collaboration. This is Marshall up in Northern Virginia. When I first met Tom and them, I think the thing that really brought us together is because they were so down to earth in doing what they do, but their impact has showed such a greatness. So not just having Jerry with me, not as a client, but as a friend that we've established over the last couple of months. And when Tom came to the table with our meeting in Manassas, I think what struck me more than anything was their love for people. And as we move forward, it's not the relationship that we have, but the relationships that we build that actually makes Virginia Cares and People Incorporated and companies like Training Ground that makes us accessible to those that are in need. So I just wanted to say thank you and kudos to you and the whole team coming on here for this meeting, because like I said, I think this is a very good collaboration because of us being in this area of Virginia and the collaboration of the transitioning from DC to Virginia. We have clients on this side as well as them having clients on that side and vice versa. So that's why I thought the importance of having them with us would make such an impact on what we do and how we serve our clients here in the Virginia state. So thank you guys for coming on, and we appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Marshall. Thank you, Marshall, for introducing me to the Tom and the team. But what we need to do is we need to go ahead and go to a break. I'm sorry. We need to go ahead and go to a break, and we'll come back at 11:25, and then we will have Michaela and Raymond presenting some information on trauma-informed care. So you guys go ahead and take your break and try to get back at 11:25.
Thank you, Virginia Cares.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.